All praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakakwadash. Yahawah is who the world ignorantly calls God, in the name of his son Yahawashi, in who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, in the name of the Holy Spirit. I would also like to give a double honors unto my apostles and elders of Great Millstone that have taught me this truth, and I would like to say a sincere shalom unto the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four winds of the earth, and to the servants, the prophets, the men that are prophesying and laboring in this truth and this doctrine. Unto you I say shalom. Nukes in space, what does that mean? All right, and several articles have come out within the past week or few days about Russia putting nukes in space. All right, and this, for those that aren't watching, this probably just went over a lot of people's heads, but this is a major deal. This is a big deal because they're, in this article in the Washington Post, they are basically uh, putting out the idea that Russia is developing this technology to put nukes in space, and of course, what the ramifications would be. But little do they know, Russia more than likely already has this technology, and it's only a matter of time before they use it. Okay, whenever kind of attack they take out. I mean, they carry out. But it says, with dire warning, concerns rise about conflict in space with Russia. Revelations that Russia may be seeking to deploy nuclear weapons in space raises fear that go back to Sputnik and the dawn of the space age. Okay, and back during the Cold War, it was more like they disguised this space race for this nuclear arms race. All right, and back in the 60s and 70s, they were acting like, okay, we want to be the first ones to put a man on the moon. It's a space race, but it actually was a race to develop this nuclear capabilities. All right, and along with Russia and America, with Russia, pretty much leading the way, because they do have the most nukes, all right, on the planet right now. Okay, and their allies, okay, they probably outnumber America right now. So this World War III is imminent. All right, and all these countries are doing, they're just getting all their ducks in a row, crossing their I's, dotting their I's and crossing their T's right now before, shit really goes down. All right, and this could very well set it off. And people see this and they say, well, it's a nuke in space. How does that affect me? How does that's not going to affect us? Because there's, it's in space. It's thousands and thousands of miles away. But little do you know, it's satellites in space. And when those satellites are possibly destroyed or tampered with, okay, it's going to call it's a cause and effect. All right. So let me read a little bit of this article, and then I'm going to go into what these various satellites in space are used for and how they affect us here, on Earth. All right, it says Russia is developing space-based capabilities to attack satellites using a nuclear weapon, an aggressive move that has alarmed U.S. national security officials and lawmakers who worry that Russia could interfere with or disable critical communications and intelligence systems, according to people familiar with the classified intelligence on the matter. This is not an active capability that's been deployed, White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby told reporters. So of course they're going to say that. They don't want to put people. They don't want people to panic. They want people to still believe that, hey, America's in charge. America has everything under control. When that's the furthest thing from the truth. Kirby didn't address questions about whether the system was designed to use nuclear weapons or perhaps powered by nuclear energy, but citing earlier news reports, he said he could confirm that it is related to an anti-satellite capability that Russia is developing. It's pretty much already developed, okay? And if they're putting this idea out there that they're developing this, it's more than likely happening. Okay, so they could deploy one of these nukes to take out multiple satellites. All right, and the ramifications from that are, it's gonna cause a lot of damage here on Earth. All right, it says though Russia's pursuit in particular capabilities is troubling, there are no immediate threats to anyone's safety. Kirby said, "We are not talking about a weapon that can be used to attack human beings or cause physical destruction here on Earth. That said, we've been closely monitoring Russia's activity and we'll continue to take it very seriously." That, of course, they're going to say that. All right, this devil always uses these smooth words and makes you think that everything's going to be all right, but everything is not all right. All right, you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, better hearken unto the words of the prophets and understand the times that we're living in, and get right with the Lord, because this truth, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, is the only way out of this destruction. All right, I'm gonna finish reading a little bit of this. The capability of nuclear arms, non-nuclear powered weapons, said the U.S. officials who, like others familiar with the intelligence, spoke on the condition and anonymity to discuss sensitive information. ABC News first reported that Russia was seeking to deploy nuclear weapons. All right, so like I said, they more than likely have this technology, and it's already more than likely in space. Okay, so these are the ramifications. These are what are satellites used for and why they matter. So these are multiple reasons, multiple um, multiple capabilities of satellites in space. Um, Earth observation and imagery, communication. That's a main key. It says satellites can enable communication services on the ground that includes two-way communications, one-way communications, and broadband and radio broadcast. So without those things, people won't be able to communicate. All right, that more than likely goes for military people, cell phones. All right, we know cell phone satellites are up there that allow people to, use their cell phones, use the internet. Okay, navigation, positioning, navigation, and timing in global navigation systems. Satellites are each a form of navigational satellites. Using several satellites in a cluster, these systems can provide precise time and location information. GPS. All right. So think about all the things that use GPS: planes. All right, boats. Okay, cars. All right. All these things use GPS or use these satellites to what's it, global positioning system. All right. Without that, you're gonna have a lot of these planes may go down. All right. Why are satellites important? Well, it says be able to realize how much our everyday lives are reliant on satellite signals. They permeate almost every sector, making people safer, our lives more efficient, and revolutionizing the way our nation infrastructure works. So without the satellites, this country shuts down. Okay, the lights is shut off. All right, I'm pretty sure some of these power grids are connected to satellites. Okay, so without the satellites, eventually a lot of these things here on Earth, mainly in America, because I would, obviously that's who Russia's going to attack. Okay, it says navigation, communication. We spoke on that. Banking, that's a big deal. Okay, energy networks use navigation satellites to organize power grids. I just spoke on that. Transportation. All right, there's gonna be no transportation. Defense. TV, hell, the TV, you ain't worried about no TV. People are going to be turning their TVs on to see what the hell is going on. Civil, emergency services such as ambulance or firefighters. Consumer, ain't nobody, man, when shit is the fan, all right, whether it's an EMP, whether it's an attack on a satellite system, ain't nobody, all that bullshit is not going to matter, all right, weather. But the main few things in here, banking, when all hell breaks loose, people are going to, want to know about their finances. Not necessarily Jake, because we don't got no serious money, but these Edomites, these heathens, they got major money in these banks. Okay, and that's part of the banking system, fella. All right, this is all a part of the Great Reset. All right, and Esau's putting this out there. They're putting a name on who is could possibly be responsible if something like this happens, so they could point the finger at Russia. Okay, that Esau plays the blame game. Okay, but deep down they really don't want to get in a war with Russia, China, and their allies. Okay, because Esau knows this is the war of wars. It's the war to end all wars, and they don't win this war. Okay, so with all these things, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8 things on there. If half of these things are taken away, all right, defense, military organization, and defense need accurate real-time guidance for weapon systems and aircraft. If that is taken out, hey, America is susceptible to a attack. Their allies are susceptible to attack. Okay, that would be the best time to strike. All right, when you don't have transportation, when your defense systems are down. All right, when your country is in disarray. All right, when you got multiple uprisings of the people. All right, because people want to know where their money's at. People want to know what the hell is going on. People want real answers, and your government is not able to give you those. What are people going to do? Take matters into their own hands. All right, and that's part of the plagues. That's part of the end. Okay, so let me start off with Ezekiel 38. Talking about Gog and Magog. All right, Russia. All right, this is Ezekiel 38, and I'm going to start at verse 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shields and helmets. So this is all the nations, rising up for war. All right, shit, I should have started at 3. And thus saith the Lord, power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, and the chief of Meshach and Tubal. Oh shit, I should have started at the top. Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, to prophesy against him. All right, so let me jump back down to verse 6. Gomer and all his bands and the house of Togarmah. Gomer is Turkey, modern day Turkey. The house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare thyself that thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia, Gog, Magog are going to be a guard unto Persia, Ethiopia. Persia is modern day Iran, Ethiopia and Libya with them. After many days thou shalt be visited in the latter years thou shalt come into the land that thou brought back from the sword, and is gathered out many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Let me see. Where's that part? Y'all just keep going. Thus saith the Lord power. It shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. That evil thought is the Lord putting the spirit on these nations to ultimately press that button. Okay, because it's really up to the Lord. Or we're all operating on the Lord's time. But the Lord is going to put that evil thought on the minds of these nations, on the minds of Russia, on the minds of North Korea, Iran, the minds of the allies of America, to put that evil thought and press that button. All right, because these countries that have these nuclear capabilities, they're going to shoot their arrows, those missiles, on America. Let me see something real quick. All right. Verse 11. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, and I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and having their bar nor gates. All right, this is the land of unwalled villages, America. Okay, where the people here think they're safe. All right, they're dwelling safely. They're dwelling carelessly. All right, little do they know, hey, their judgment is right around the corner. Their judgment is closer than they think. Their judgment is only going to take 1 hour to destroy this place. Okay, their judgment is 1 minute everything could be good in this place, and the next minute, hey, everything is going to shit. That's how fast things are going to turn. All right, and all you need is an event like an EMP, a bank crash, major satellites, Russia striking major satellites with a nuke, and the satellites are down, and then you got a chain reaction of events. All right, let me see. Verse 12: Take a spoil and take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and unto the people that are gathered out of the nations which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. Sheba and Dedan, all the merchants of Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, Art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a spoil? Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto Gog, thus saith the Lord power, in that day when my people Israel dwelleth safely, thou shalt know it. Let me see. And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north part, and that part thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses, a great company, a mighty army. And thou shalt come up against my people Israel as a cloud to cover the land, and it shall be in the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me, and they shall be sanctified in thee, O Gog, before thy eyes. All right, so like I didn't even want to read all of that, but let me go to let me see. Bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna grab another scripture. Actually, I'll just get Joel 3. Joel 3, yeah. Joel 3:1. It says, Joel 3:1. Behold, in those days, at that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will gather all nations. I will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered amongst the nations, and parted my land. All right, so the Lord is going to bring all these nations eventually. All right, America, Iran, all the NATO, EU nations down to the Valley of Jehoshaphat, the so-called Middle East area, and that's where the majority of the fighting is going to come. Okay, in this world war, this World War III. Okay, and the Lord is he said he's going to plead with all nations. He's going to gather all nations and plead with them. Okay, plead meaning judge. Not the Lord ain't gonna be pleading with them like begging them. All right. Let me jump down to verse 9. Proclaim ye among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty man, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. All right, this is all the mighty men, of these nations. They're gonna come forth for this war. All right, it's the Lord's will. All right, that they come to the Valley of Jehoshaphat for this world war. All right, let me see. Bear with me 1 second. Let me look up something. All right, I'll continue to read. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. All right, and that's what you're seeing right now. All these nations are putting all their resources into things that pertain to war. Okay, everything that they got, pretty much. All right, and over on the other side of the country, they're already preparing for World War III. All right, they're warning, they're giving a firm warning unto their citizens that giving them detailed instructions on what to do if this happens. They're preparing themselves. Okay, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, gather yourselves together round about thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. The mighty ones, the mighty warriors, the mighty ones of the mighty men of these countries. All right, these heathens, these Edomites. All right, let the heathen be awakened and come to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Let me see. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is come. For the harvest is right. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats have overflown, their wickedness is great. All right, the wickedness of these wicked ass nations. All right, mainly the Edomites. All right, but all these nations that have had a hand in the captivity of the Israelites. Let me see something. Yeah, let me grab. I was in Jeremiah. I was thinking Jeremiah. Jeremiah 50 and verse 9. Yep. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon. Babylon is America. An assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. For from thence shall she be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. The arrows represent the missiles. All right. The prophets use what is it called? Similitudes. They use things, that they were familiar with in their time to describe the visions that they saw. Okay, so they describe the missiles as arrows. Okay, Um, and actually, let me get another scripture to back that up in Second Ezra 16. Second Ezra's 16. What's it like? 14. Second Ezra 16 and verse 13. For strong is the right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot to the ends of the world. Of course, like I said, the arrows are speaking of um, the missiles. All right. And it says to be shot to the ends of the world. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backwards, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return in vain. And an event like this, all right, a catastrophic event like the Russia targeting America's satellites would send it would definitely fast forward these plagues. Okay. Let me see. Because once that happens, then you're gonna, that could man, an event like that could man, it's like pretty much no return. All right, because Russia's more than likely is going to attack. They have something planned out. All right, if that because that's considered an attack, and that's an attack in space on their satellites. But eventually they're going to double down with an attack on ground on land. Okay, so that's where we at, and once this world war kicks off, it's no holding back. It's nothing you can do about it. Okay, and like I said, it's going to send this country in complete turmoil. All right, this is Second Ezra chapter 15, and I just hit something real quick. I'll start at 11, but I'll start at 12. Egypt shall mourn, the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues and the punishments that the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting of the hail, and with fearful consolation. Woe to the world, and woe to them that dwell therein. For sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in the hand. That's speaking of the race riots, but you're going to have an accumulation of plagues. Race riots, you're going to have sedition, or it's going to say it in the next verse. And there shall be yeah. I'll read it. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor prince, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So, of course, people are going to take matters into their own hands. When this country is under attack, what do you think people are going to do? They're going to wait for Biden or one of these elected or selected government officials to give them orders of what to do. Hey, people are going to fight. Okay, they're going to fight each other. Okay, they're going to be fighting for resources. They're going to be fighting for their life. All right, a man shall desire to go into the city, but shall not be able. All right, for because of their pride, and the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right, and you saw, let me see, it was what was that? That movie, Leave the World Behind, when there was in the movie there was an EMP, there was some type of attack, a foreign attack on America, and it sent everything in America in pretty much in disarray. All right, and in that movie, you only saw it from the the perspective of someone living in the suburbs. But when you saw the city, the city was going up, literally going up in smoke. All right, you heard the gunshots, you heard gunshots and things blowing up. So that's going to be the reality. And all you need, all that needs to happen is something like this that America acts like they're taking lightly, but in reality they're taken very seriously. All right, because they know that they understand these higher ups, the elites. They understand prophecy. They understand their role in prophecy. So, and they know, as the scripture says, they know they have but a short time. So they're going to do any and everything to try to claw and scrape and deceive and to keep their to try to fulfill their new world order and keep their rulership alive. Okay, so Lord willing, this lesson was edifying unto the elect, and I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakak Wadash. Shalom.